Welcome to another Monday demo lesson, and today we have a lesson for our general training students. We're looking at task 1 and specifically the basics of tone. And tone, if you're a general training student, you should understand is really, really important, because what happens with tone is that you can do everything perfectly with regard to responding to the question and developing your answer, but some issues with tone can drag your task achievement score way down. So let's just have a look at the band descriptors first and see how exactly tone affects your score. So these are the public band descriptors from the British Council website, and you'll see that the task achievement is where tone is taken into account. So we're not going to look at coherence and cohesion, we're not going to look at lexical resource. Even though the words you use affect tone, it's actually not going to affect your lexical resource score, so it's not going to be your vocabulary band score isn't going to be affected by tone. And then grammatical range and accuracy is separate. So we're just going to look at task achievement. And you can see here bands 9, 8, 7 for task achievement, and these are band 6 for task achievement and band 5 for task achievement. We don't really need to look at band 4. So what I've done is I've underlined the parts of the band descriptor which specifically reference tone. You'll notice that in band 9 and band 8 there is no actual reference or no description of what should be done with tone, so you can assume that they are what has been done in band 7 would also apply to band 8 and 9 for tone. Right, so I think it's best to just start at the bottom. So band 5, the tone may be appropriate and the tone may be variable and sometimes inappropriate. So for the most part, when we're talking about tone, we're referring to formal and informal. In a band 5, if a letter got a task achievement band 5 because of the tone would not be written as clearly a formal letter or as an informal letter. It would vary back and forth between those two. So that's what they mean by the tone may be variable. So some of the letter will look like it's formal, some of the letter will look like it's informal. Whereas in a band 6, there may be inconsistencies in tone. So let's say, for example, it's a letter to a friend, which means the letter should be informal. And when you read the letter, it reads like an informal letter, but there are a few formal phrases within that same letter. So it's not that all the letter looks as if it's the wrong tone, it's that some of the phrases within it will be the wrong tone. So that would be an informal letter with some formal phrases. Some, not a lot, some formal phrases would be a band 6. And then in a band 7, the tone, with the tone consistent. So that would mean that you're writing a letter to a friend, the letter should be informal, and it's informal from the very start to the very end. Or on the other side would be you're writing a letter to your boss, so it should be formal, and from the very start to the very end, it's all formal. So there'll be no informal phrases when it should be formal, or there'll be no formal phrases when it should be informal. So the whole way through it's consistent. Then we also have this phrase appropriate and sometimes inappropriate. Now that's related to formal and informal, but there's also related to like emotion. So it could be like, let's say inappropriate would be you're writing a letter of complaint, and then at the end, inappropriate would be I'm really looking forward to your reply. So if your tone has been like a letter of complaint, annoyed or angry all the way through, and then at the end, I'm looking forward to receiving your reply, or whatever phrase like that, I'm looking forward to, that's more in relation to what you would put in with a friend. So a phrase like that is completely inappropriate because it just shifts the tone completely from the mood and the emotion that you have put through it, and it changes as if it's been written by a completely different person. Or like, I don't know, you took a really long break and you had a lovely holiday and you came back and you're not that annoyed anymore before you finished the letter. Like that kind of inappropriate thing. Another thing then in relation to tone would be like how blunt you are, or the way you would address an issue. So for example, we'll look at an example in a minute, but basically the example is in relation to like being invited to a party and you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, because usually if you're not going to go to a party, you're not just going to say like, no, it sounds rubbish, your party sounds rubbish, or I never really like you anyway, so why would I want to spend my time with you? That kind of inappropriate thing, that you would just follow the social norms of Western cultures and you would let the person down easily. So if that was done appropriately, that would be a 7, but inappropriately it would be a 5. So let's look at that in a little more detail here. So imagine this is the opening question statement in your task 1 letter, in your task 1 question. Your boss has invited you to a party, but you can't attend. In your letter, and then you'll have the 3 bullet points here, but we're not really concerned with that right now. So number 7. So what I said for band 7 for task achievement was with the tone consistent and appropriate. So I would paraphrase this sentence. This would be my first paragraph in the letter. I'm writing to inform you that I will be unable to attend the party to which you were so kind as to invite me. Okay, that's really, really formal and consistent. I'm writing to inform you. So again, this is a formal phrase, that I will be unable, this is formal, to attend that party. Attend the party to which you were so kind as to invite me. So again, this is all the phrases so kind as to invite me, very, 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 very formal the whole way through, because I'm writing to my boss. So the tone is consistent, the tone is also appropriate. Okay, let's look at a band 6 version of this. There may be inconsistencies in tone. So I'm writing to let you know. So again, this is a little bit less formal, let you know instead of inform you. But again, it's not a bad attempt, but it's still not as formal. That I will be unable to attend the party you asked me to go to. So again, I'm writing to let you know, very formal. I'm writing to let you know. So within that phrase, I'm writing to let you know. That the phrase itself is formal, but this let you know would be informal. This would be more informal phrase. That I will be unable to attend. So again, very formal. Unable to attend the party you asked me to go to. So informal. So you got that kind of mixture of formal, informal. Overall, that sentence is formal, but here, let you know and ask me to go to are informal. So that's inconsistencies in tone. So when you look at that compared to the band 7 paraphrase, that's quite different. Then in a band 5, the tone may be variable and sometimes inappropriate. I'm writing to let you know that I'm not attending the party you asked me to go to. So again, we have the inconsistency, so it's variable. Now, in this band 6 response, in the full letter, it would be obvious that it's still a formal letter, but in this band 5 response, all the letter would kind of jump back and forth between the tones. So I'm writing to let you know I'm not attending the party you asked me to go to. And this inappropriate, sorry about that. So this bit, it's inappropriate, is that I'm not attending the party. So we would never say that just like so blunt and so directly, I'm not attending the party. It would always be like, I cannot go. So that kind of tone, like, you're implying by saying you cannot go, it's not that you have made the decision, it's that you have no choice. And normally that's what we would do in English, is we wouldn't say like, I don't want to go, or I'm not going. We would say, I cannot go, I'm unable to go. That you make it seem like there's another obligation, that you've already agreed to go somewhere else, or you have an appointment, or some good reason why you cannot go. But to just say like this, I'm not attending, that's far too blunt, and that is inappropriate, and that would land you with a band 5. So those, even though they're all paraphrasing the question, so in that context, paragraph 1 is successful because you paraphrased it, but the difference in the tone is where the scores are going to vary for these 3 first paragraphs to that. Okay, so what I want you to do then, your task for this week, is you're going to write paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 for this letter. So obviously the real question would have 2 more prompts, but that's not what we're focusing on. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to write paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 for this question. So the thing is, they're the exact same, except for who you're writing to. So your boss has invited you to a party, but you can't attend, so just like we looked at. So you paraphrase that for your first paragraph, and your second paragraph will be an explanation of why you can't go. Then in the other answer, so the second part of your task, you're writing to your friend. So your friend has invited you to a party, but you can't attend. So this time, the information is going to be the exact same, and it would be good if you just use the same reason for both, so that you can really compare the difference between what you're doing. But this time, you're writing to a friend, so you're not going to have that very, very informal language. You're going to have less formal. It's to a friend. So you're going to have the exact same answer, but one being formal and one being informal. When you're finished, of course, put it in the comments under the video, and I will be back to you tomorrow with your global feedback. Okay, thank you all. Bye-bye.